Welcome everyone to another exciting edition of BD Extra, a segment of the BusinessDay TV that speaks on everything the business of entertainment. Today on the studio, we're going to be talking Nollywood, and I have a guest with me here. She's a Nollywood actress, a rising star in the business of entertainment, a rising star in the business of film. Welcome, Etta JoMaria.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
how are you doing today?
Well, I'm so happy to be here.
You look good.
Thank you.
I love how you look.
Thank you. And I love your ensemble as well. Nice two-piece.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Black, you can never go wrong with black.
You can never go wrong
right?
with black.
Yeah. You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So how has it been for you? How's the day going? How's everything like?
Very well. The year actually is up to an amazing start. You know, my show
2025.
2025. We started the year with Cheta'm season 2 getting released on Showmax, and that's been very exciting because like all the other episodes that are coming out every day, it's like people are going hot on Twitter and and the fans are very happy. We are happy because we really worked hard and people are getting to see the outcome of our hard work. So I would say for me, the year has started amazing and it's just uphill from here.
Yeah, so before we go to 2025, let us start from
2024.
Let's even go beyond that because let's check out Etta before she got into the film industry. Briefly, let us know how you found Nollywood and how you've been able to progress in your career from then till now.
I mean, I found Nollywood and Nollywood found me. I guess I'll say that. So I am Nigerian, before anybody asks. I'm from Cross River State, Ikom in Cross River State, Nigeria. But I schooled and lived in Ghana for over 7 years-ish. And so while I finished college, and that's where I started acting. So that's where my journey began, And in 2021, I decided that it was time to come back home. And I mean, I believe for a fact that if something is worth doing, it is worth doing well. So I decided that, where best to come and start my journey all over again rather than Lagos. Where it's like, if you agree with me, it's sort of like the hub of like everything Nollywood.
Yeah.
So I moved to Nigeria in 2021 and, went to film school and did producing because for starters, I'm a planner. I like to plan my life and everything. So before you come into a space and for you want to be heard and seen, you might as well also sort of contribute in your own little way, which was what spurred me on to do producing. I wanted to start doing, producing short films, social impact short films. And by the grace of God, I was able to produce 2 social impact short films that, were used as a symposium tool by the French embassy, for the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And that also went further to land me a job, as a producer. And I went all the way to East Africa, to Uganda to make a film. And after that, coming back, acting is always my first love. I breathe acting. I live acting. I am acting, so I am the embodiment of acting. Thank you. I decided that in 2022, I had already garnered like the necessary know-how and experience in producing. So I decided to come back to acting. And so I could say that acting in Nollywood really started properly for me in 2022 with my siblings and I, a show with the ever talented Funke Akindele and other amazing actors and actresses. And from there, I went on to do Slum King. I went on to do The Waiting Song, that was like selected at the London International Pan-African Film Festival last year that I attended in the UK.
Yeah.
And, I went on to do Glass House. I went on to do Cheta'm and a lot of other projects that are still in post-production that I can't really speak about yet. So that's I literally have summarized everything. I guess.
So it seems like let me touch on that last part.
Yes.
There is the part we said I can't talk about it because I don't know why. What's the thing about secrecy in terms of so in terms of building anticipation and so why do Nollywood or especially Nollywood, because that's where we are, why do they keep saying that you
can't talk about it now and I signed an NDA? I mean, because everything about the film is planning. From development, pre-production, production, and post-production. It's all about planning. And you don't just want to, you would agree with me that once you hear about something today and you're happy and excited about it, in let's say in the next week, something new has come and the thing that you've heard about has already sort of like become secondary, and that's what I believe that producers are not trying to do. They want to ensure that when they are ready for the film or the project to be in people's minds and for people to hear about it, people are actually hearing about it and are actively, talking about it. I think it's really not a thing of secrecy. It's just about being able to just give you what they want to serve you and be purposeful about it so that you would also receive it and buy the product in the right way. Yeah, so I think that's just what it's about.
Yeah, so nice. Let's move on to Cheta'm. We spoke about it and it's showing on, it's a
Showmax original. Yes.
So let's talk about your experience working alongside the producers of Cheta'm.
Yeah.
And it's on Showmax and it's a Showmax original. What was it like?
Cheta'm, first of all, is a very interesting show that you should check out if you haven't. It is a Showmax original, which means that it is only on Showmax. Like we have Netflix originals, like we have Amazon Prime's originals. This is also a Showmax original and you can only find it on Showmax. It is a 130 episode show and the first season had like 60 episodes and now we're in the second season, which continues and we'll show the leftover 70 episodes. So we're gonna be like a long time on screen. And it shows from Mondays to Wednesdays on Showmax. It was very exciting. It was quite a unique and interesting experience working, on Cheta'm and with the producers. That was my first time actually working with Fimo and it was an amazing experience. James Omokwe, as for those who know him, they know him. I don't want to say God, but he does know how to do great epic shows. He's done Ajoche, he's done proper shows, he's done other shows like Diche, and they're all, really amassed great success. And so he has his fans, and obviously making newer fans for people who love epic shows. Everything was so unique. I had a little mini watch party yesterday actually with my friends, and I had to ask them what they thought about the show, and what everyone was saying was how distinct, the costuming is, the set design, the energy, everything about the show just feels different, which is why everybody should check it out. It feels really different, and it was also different. The experience filming it was also different for me, and I would like to also believe for my other colleagues who were actors on the show. We filmed, because it's an epic show, most of our bodies were sort of exposed to the sun, and so I was burned.
They took you back to
if you see me on that show, you see me now, you're like, what's going on? Are you okay? But that's one of those are one of the things that we have to do for the job. We have to go all the way. We have to put ourselves in there, get logged, and the language, because it's an epic show, the language was different. So we don't say don't, we say do not. We don't say won't, we say I would not. So if you check, in those days, they were not saying things like, this is very modernized language, the way I'm speaking right now to you and the way we're speaking is very modernized. So you'd be like, I shall not talk to you.
Thinking about
just like if you watch Game of Thrones, you watch Hollywood shows like that as well.
Bridgerton,
exactly that same language. So we infused that, the creators infused that into the show to make it as authentic as possible, and they did get good, if I do say so myself, very, very good actors to bring the characters to life. The characters are so diverse. It's an Igbo show, by the way. And then you'll be asking what a South Queen is doing in an Igbo show. But my character was one of the very few characters. I think my family was actually the only family that wasn't Igbo in the show. So I'm a South princess, and my character is of the Ijaw tribe, and I love that. Even though while it's an Igbo show, they sort of expanded and went diverse to inculcate this other tribe, which some people would call minor, in a way. And I love that they sort of showed, and they were so particular about their dressing. I looked extremely different, my hairdo, my hairstyle, everything was so different.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience, honestly.
Yeah.
It was.
So let's talk about like how Showmax
Yeah.
is trying to like leverage. You know, there was a thing about streaming platforms last year.
Yeah.
Amazon pulled out funding. Netflix as well also re-strategize in terms of content.
Right.
And let's talk about that. Now we have Cheta'm that is streaming
Yeah.
on the platform. How do you think Showmax can basically take advantage of the situation and try and tell us that, okay, this is the platform to watch. These Nigerians come here
And get proper
that, so that
entertainment.
you as an actress can get a bulk of a share.
Yes, of like the buzz and everything.
Exactly. So how
I mean,
that?
honestly, I think they're already doing it. I think Showmax is already doing it because if you check, you'd realize that they're very particular about their advertisement, about their promotions, with how they promote their shows. Good things take time, if you agree with me. Netflix didn't just grow up and become Netflix, you know what I mean? So it took a process. We just got to know about Netflix when Netflix was already Netflix. You know, so it now seems like, oh, it's always been there. But I would like to believe that, you know, just like every other thing, just like even me as an actor, having my journey, you know, doing what you do as well. Like every great thing takes like proper time to brew and come to proper fruition.
Yeah.
But I would like to say Showmax, I believe that Showmax is already on its way to becoming a beacon of like, you know, proper entertainment in Africa. You know, they're putting themselves on that level of really getting grounded. They're doing promotions, they are, you know, at proper advertisements. They're coming out with not just any type of shows, but really good shows. You know, they have big movies like Oppenheimer, Barbie. They have like all these type of movies on there, you know, on the platform. And obviously, it doesn't take small money to get all these films.
Yes.
So I think that there are, I don't know, so I would not know so much because I don't work with them about their business model or anything, but I do know for sure from what I've observed so far that they're already, you know, really strategically placing themselves to become the platform that people would only look towards, or at least be one of the top platforms that people would look towards and say, oh, it's on Showmax, I'm gonna watch. And for us, like actors like us who are now on the platform while it's in this stage, I wouldn't call it early because they've probably been there for forever, but like it's in this brewing stage of like getting blown up. I think we're going to enjoy in the long run.
Yes.
You know, because these projects are going to be there for life, especially given that I am doing Showmax Originals. It's an original, so it's not like it was commissioned and they're going to take it out. It's going to be there, you know, so it's just a little matter of time and I think everything would, you know, come proper.
Yeah, so yes, I think that's a very in-depth observation about Showmax. I appreciate you for like, giving your 2 cents on that.
Thank you.
So let's move to something else. Let's move to something interesting. The waiting song.
The waiting song, yes.
Oh. I know you can't wait to say something about that. So let's see. The waiting song was basically a film that screened at the London International Pan-African Film Festival.
Yeah.
And you attended.
I did.
So how was it? Like this was in November, right?
It was in October.
October.
Yeah, because I stayed in the UK for so long.
Okay.
So you sort of, but it was in October, yes.
So how was the experience like with you know, the film festival and all that? How was
it was great. I don't want to seem like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, but first of all, what that confirmed, because the cinema was so humongous, it was so huge, and you know, all the films, whether short films, whether feature films, played on that screen. What that confirmed was that, oh my goodness, I would make such a beautiful leading lady in like a proper, let's say, action film or a romantic film, or like, it just really looked so good. I looked so good on screen. I'm so sorry. Honestly, I did look really good on screen, and so that made me feel very fulfilled. You know, it made me realize and remember that I am definitely in the right career. I am definitely doing the right thing. It felt good. It had like, you know, filmmakers and other actors and actresses from different parts of the world attend the festival, and it was a 1-week festival of like showing other films. And I watched a lot of films, and I even watched the film there's this film that sort of stood out. It was a documentary actually, the Lobola practice in South Africa, sort of like a marriage practice. And if you really take time to research about it, you realize that it's quite interesting. So there's so many interesting stories that people are telling, and you know, traveling is important. It's good. It's finding myself in that space to be able to experience all of that. I mean, not to talk of the fact that my film was also selected. That's definitely something huge. It was nice. It was a really good experience. And the waiting song is. Did you ask me about the film?
Yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
We want to hear that too.
So it's such a when they say small body big engine, that's what I call that project, because it is a short film, but it was so carefully properly curated and made by the director and writer and producer Russell Uru, very great filmmaker. It was so beautifully made that it has such a lasting effect on anybody that sees it. I think you're able to see the trailer.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it has such a lasting effect on anyone that sees it. It talks about if we're all given the opportunity to sort of have our lives flash right in front of us, and just really be able to gauge the effect of our behaviors and how we act and all of that, how that would look. So it's about this young girl, who was played by me, Etta JoMaria, who had to really think about her life choices that she made, not because she wanted to, but because of the kind of childhood that she had. So she's a sex worker, and she became that just from the childhood that she had, and so she had to survive and all of that. But she was put in a situation where she had to rethink a lot of things and a lot of decisions, and because she was literally at the point of death, she almost died. And, in that moment, she rethought a lot of things, and it's she met her creator, she met her chi. And, it's a very deep, it's artsy, it's beautiful, it's edgy, it's risque, and so everything that put together for a short film, I mean, it definitely will travel the world.
So I want to ask this question, why do we find it hard to, because I know there are a lot of short films that are really good that people need to see, just watch and talk about it. Basically, they are, as you said, most of them are artsy.
Yeah.
They're art house, and people, I for a fact want to see most of these films.
Yeah.
Is there any communication or any talks about where these films would people can basically see these films and say, okay, let me just go there and see this short film, just the way? Is there a platform that is in talks about
stuff like that?
Yes.
Honestly, this is a very important question, because we've had conversations like this, my colleagues and I and stuff like that. All right. Imagine we have a short film, a platform for a short film.
Yes.
Because what people really are discouraged to make short films, because they usually feel short film is a reel. If they make short films, where exactly is it going to? It probably remains in your hard drive, or it's after it has toured festivals, what then? And it does also take a lot of money to make a good short film.
Yeah.
So it's quite important, and it's a great question, because it's in talks, but I'm not so certain as to whether maybe even in the next 2 years there's really a platform that's going to come out. I really wish that this is actually something to actually look into, to be able to have a grounded platform, a platform that just short films can be on, and people obviously Nigerian made short films especially can be on. But festivals are always a great idea, for people to be able to experience great short films like this.
Yeah.
There's a festival I attended in England, the Aesthetica Film Festival, and oh my goodness, it was just so beautiful. It had short films from filmmakers from all over the world as well.
Wow.
And the films that were made, and if you hear the budget, it's not small money. It's not small money at all. The kind of meticulousness that went into the type of films that were showcased, you would say, as a Nigerian, you would probably say, give me this money, I'll use it and make a feature film.
Yes.
That's what a normal, an average Nigerian filmmaker would say. But that's to show you that short films are also a pathway to telling stories in a totally different light. To making you experience filmmaking, to making you experience indie filmmaking and stuff like that. So I really would be happy to see a platform. I don't know, maybe there is, but I just don't know about it yet. So if there isn't, then it's definitely something to look into. Maybe that's a
Definitely.
business idea. Who
Yes,
knows?
yeah. So me, I'm going to start my own platform.
Exactly.
So that's a good one. I think
Yeah.
I would credit you for being the idea.
Don't worry.
So let's go to like you being like in the Nollywood industry
Yeah.
for since 2018,
Yeah.
and you've basically seen it all. You've been in series, movies, and all. And I want to talk. We spoke earlier about turning down roles,
Yeah.
how what kind of roles can fit an actor, how actors can take their roles seriously,
Yeah.
how they can research on their role. Let's speak about like the business of acting and contracts and all that in terms of what kind of films you want to take. And so can you like touch on, just tell us about that, what are the lessons around that for actors, going forward, especially
Yeah.
those that want to start out in 2025?
Yeah, I would say for starters, I had to, and I continuously tell myself this because it's easier said than done. But you have to always remember that sometimes a no is okay. When you get a no, that's fine. Because when you have that at the back of your mind, then you're able to properly gauge, your why with regards to the kind of projects that you take and find yourself in. For actors, most especially, there are different reasons why we take projects. So it's either for money or for mileage. So we usually gauge these two things. Like if you call me today, Anthony, you call me today and say, Etta, I want you in my film, da 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 da. Okay, how much? First of all, actors will not quickly first ask about money. Usually they'll ask about the script, read the script to understand the story, because we're supposed to be pushed and spurred on by the story. Story is king. So anything you do, the story has to sort of make sense before you do it.
Yes.
There are other actors who probably ask for money first. Not to judge, but like anyone and what they do. But for me, first of all, it's about the story. So what's the story? And I probably read the script and okay, and I see the challenges that my character journey and the challenges that involve my character. And obviously that would also determine how much more work I would put into just bringing that character to life authentically.
Yeah.
There's some people, for example, just like every character is challenging in its own might, to be honest, but there are different levels of challenging. Like if I have to climb a mountain, it's different from if I have to sit inside my room and, perform, or if I have to go, for example, in the waiting song in the trailer, you saw that I lit my character, because that's not me, but character literally went sort of nude, but it had to serve the story, so I had to do that. That's why I said it's very risque. So like there are a lot of questions that you usually ask yourself and say, why exactly am I doing this? So if the story would give you mileage, that's to say, whoever it is you're working with in terms of the director, your co-actors, and a lot of other factors to consider in terms of where the story is going, where the project is going rather, where the film is going, what platform it's going. Like these are literally things that we sit down and think about and consider. And then also sometimes just for relationships, people decide to either take or not take projects based off like relationship. Like let's say with how you and I are today, you can just call me and say, okay, and I see that there's, because for me, no matter, even if you're my mother, the story has to be good. Yeah, the story has to always make sense, So if I see that the story is so good, and like obviously like I see where you're going with this, and I appreciate and respect you as a person, and okay, how much do you have? Oh, it's you know what I mean? It's like that could like, just because of the kind of relationship that we've built over the past few months or years, I could now decide that, okay, this person definitely knows what they're doing and they know where they're going. And I would love to also be able to key into this journey and key into whatever this is about, and then maybe I might decide to take the role just because of that. But like, the relationship had to also play a key role. So I'd say that, again, story is king. Really, always remember that story is king, and be comfortable with getting a no, because we get a lot of that. We get a lot of no's in this industry. Sometimes you go for auditions. I mean, everybody goes for auditions. Like even in Hollywood, everyone goes for audition. Sure. Yeah, it's a normal process. It's like having an interview to get a job. So you go for auditions, and while you're so good, there are other really good people out there. Do you know what I mean? And it's like characters are being, actors are being chosen based off a lot of factors. So there's talent, there is look, because like you have to look like the character the writer and the creators are envisioning for the project. There is attitude, which is also very important. I have heard of like my colleagues who have been decast off projects just because of, maybe they're badly behaved or they're not, and I've heard of other people who've been like brought on projects just because of how good their characters are. And, the industry seems so large, but it's also very small because I know you know him, he knows someone else, like everyone knows everybody, so you want to be careful on how to like, put yourself out there and obviously know yourself, believe in yourself, but try not to do things at the expense of other people, and like, just literally, I know but mind your business is such a cliche thing to say, but literally mind your business, the business that pays you, which is obviously like the job that you take seriously, which is your acting and your craft. You want to really be able to be grounded in that. Know your craft. Like, I don't know how to say this because you would agree with me. Like people keep complaining here and there. Oh, this actor is not acting well or whatever.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's an actual thing. So I would say know your craft because you're already entering an industry that is full with, like it's filled rather with people who are good, those who are not so good but already are up there, who you can't take the limelight away from them because they're already there. So you have to, as you're coming, you have to come with something, some proper substance. And so for me, I would say know your craft, believe in your craft, understand your craft, and keep learning. It's a learning curve, it's a learning process. You have to keep going. Before I came to you this afternoon, I literally had to like go through like some notes that I made from like reading an acting book. I keep like, you have to continuously, there's no stopping, It's not like, oh, I'm going to school for maybe, even doctors keep learning. But I want to say that like, they go to school maybe for like 7-8 years and they come and now enter the profession. But like everyone keeps learning. So while you've gone to film school or gone to drama school or whatever, and you are now performing, because we also learn by experience. Our job is also an experiential learning job because while you go on set, you are observing another actor, you're seeing how they're having that moment before they go on screen. That's a learning curve. I don't know about any other person, but for me, that's a learning curve because I'm just watching. Every actor sort of has like their ritual before they go on set and stuff like that. So that's also learning. That's maybe you can't just go on set and just like maybe be talking all the time or be too quiet and just be in your zone. So you want to like really be able to also create a balance, know how to create a balance with everything that you do. Do not do an excess in anything or an excess of everything becomes a problem. Don't do anything.
For you.
Don't do anything in excess. Just create a balance, live a balanced life, and a balanced life where I call it a 360-degree life because everything is coming like this, full circle, where your career-wise, you're solid. In terms of your personal development, you're solid because you're working on yourself personally. In terms of your relationships, maybe your friendships, maybe your family dynamics and your family relationships or your partnerships and all of that, you're solid. And, in terms of your relationship with even like your work people, your work colleagues and all those dynamics, you're also solid. And you're renewing your mind, you're becoming a better person, you're taking the necessary steps just to make sure that your daily 2K is made in the best way possible. So it's like living a 360-degree life. That's what I crave. That's what I strive towards. And that's how I thrive. It works for me like magic because I'm constantly working on myself. And actors, remember that even while you're not on set, you're still working. You're still a working actor. You're a working actor because you're not just sleeping and forgetting about your craft. You're constantly thinking about your craft. You're either reaching out to the next producer, the next casting director to send them your show reel, your headshots to say, this is me, this is what I do. I literally, every January, every 3 quarters, every quarter rather, at least I do it. I send my headshots, I send my show reel, I, take new headshots. And if you're entering into the industry, don't let anybody lie to you. Those beautiful, sexy Instagram pictures are great, but have a headshot. It's very, very important. You need a headshot because you're a professional. You need a professional headshot because you want to be taken seriously. So you need to take things, bring your materials together that makes any good meaning or well-meaning producer or casting director take you seriously, because we have like pitch decks. You know, producers have pitch decks where they talk about the projects they want to make. They put the budget, they put the actors, that they are proposed actors. And if you don't have a headshot, what is a producer going to use? They can't use your bikini pictures, you know, they can't. Do you get what I mean? So you need a headshot, you need a showreel. You know, a showreel is a compilation of like projects that you've been on, like put it together. If you're just starting out, then do monologues. Start off with monologues, get yourself a demo reel, like go to a nice, you know, you don't have to go anywhere. You can be in your house and like just have good lighting, have a good camera, have a good focus, and like, you know, put stories like, you know, monologues together, strong monologues, maybe 1 minute each, or like maybe 40 seconds each, maybe 3 or 4, and put them together so that even when you haven't done enough work, everything about this is just to show a casting director or a producer that you're good at what you do, and they should cast you. And when they cast you, they will not be, you know, making a mistake by casting you. So you should just go ahead and find a way to be professional about your craft by getting your headshots together, getting, you know, your showreel together, and just reaching out via email, via Instagram, like in whatever way that you can, to ensure that, you know, the right people, you're putting yourself out there to the right people, and for them to see you and give you work, you know. So yeah, and keep working on yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So let's talk about like your predictions for 2025. What do you think is it's an outlook for 2025. Let's briefly wrap around right because of time. What's your prediction for 2025? What's an outlook that you think would happen, and what are the thoughts about it?
I mean, based off conversations, I know that bigger projects are coming.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like reaching for the stars. And I'm very excited because this is a beautiful time to be in Nollywood, right? As an actor, as a film enthusiast, as anybody who is interested about the growth of the industry.
Yeah.
It's a really important time to be here. I know that my outlook is that, you know, more projects that are for us, by us, with us, would be made, and like would be properly made. It's one thing for a film to be made, it's another thing for a film to be well made, you know, that we would be proud of. Like, because usually that's sort of like being the complaint here and there. Projects are being made, there's like a lot of projects being made, but some people would say, oh, this one was there, or there's always one thing or the other to talk about, to say, oh, this film did not really give in this way. But thankfully, like good films like The Weeknd and the others have been made, and to show also that it is possible to get it all right, to get it right in every way possible, you know. So I definitely am seeing from the things I have heard, you know, I know for a fact that proper projects are still coming, you know, like really good projects are coming, projects that will skyrocket us more, you know, because like films like the film by Etta JoMaria that went to Sundance, I think he's even like, you know, in like, I don't know if it's pre-production or development, but I know that they're going to make another film. And whether or not I don't know, and I don't care if it's a Hollywood film, but he's Etta JoMaria, he's Nigerian, so we'll definitely accept it as ours. Do you get what I mean? And so there are other people who are making amazing films out there. There are films already that are out. Like I know that a film just came out on Amazon Prime some days ago, you know, in Nollywood film, and a lot of beautiful things are on the horizon.
So you've heard it from her. A lot of beautiful things are on the horizon.
Beautiful films.
Outlooks for 2025 is that there are bigger things to come, bigger than what we had last year. So thank you, Etta, for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
It's so exciting to have you here. I'm definitely going to have you again on the show to talk about like your future projects and what maybe towards the middle of the year.
No
what
problem.
you've done. We're going to look at Cheta'm as well and see
how far. No, I promise you, like there are a lot of exciting episodes coming, and the drama is just woohoo.
We can't wait to see that.
Really, just go check it out. Go check it out. Go check it out. It's beautiful. A lot of beautiful things coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
And that's as in it for BD Extra this week. We've heard from Etta herself on her journey in film, her time in London, and her latest series, Cheta'm, which is streaming on Showmax. Thank you for watching BD Extra. I am Anthony Uduba. Have a nice weekend.